Hello dear friends of my YouTube channel Retro Photo House. I keep going with some video tutorials explaining how to service old Russian lens, and today, upon numerous requests, I will show you how to lubricate the focusing block of Helios 44m-6 lens. This is multi-coated lens with nice bokeh based on Carl Zeiss Biotar optical design, and it has higher resolution power compared to famous Helios 44-2 or 44m4, m5 and so on. So this is one of the latest modifications of Helios 44 family. And often, of course, as this lens is 1992 or even older, so the grease got I would like to say dry maybe, and the focusing ring is not very smooth. So today I will explain you how to fully disassemble the lens and apply a new grease on it. Okay, so for this you will need some tools. You'll need the screwdrivers, little screwdrivers. You will need a pair of calipers to remove the front ring, the marker, or the marker to put some markings on the spare parts, and what else? And of course the team grease to apply on the surfaces inside. Okay, so let's start. First of all, we need to separate the focusing block from optical block. For this, here on the rear side of the lens there are 4 screws. We need to remove the back cover. Here, and you just remove the rear cover. Attention on this little aperture pushing pin, it should remain on its place here. So next step, we need to remove the aperture control ring here. You just pull it like this, or just on the beginning, just let's put the aperture value on f/2. Okay, here we have this. We don't need for a while. Then we need to remove the rear part of the lens, this one. Let's focus lens on infinity like this, and it will be our working condition. We will manipulate during disassembling and reassembling lens with value as lens focused on infinity. Then, as you may see here, there are 5 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these 2 screws, they are holding together the aperture pusher mechanism attached to the lens body. This we do not need to remove. Okay, we're just removing these 3 screws. Also, please pay attention. There is a little steel ball which serves as a clicker for aperture. So please make sure it will not came out and fell somewhere, because in this case, if you will lose it, your aperture will be declicked, so maybe you will use it for video, or I don't know, but it's preferable that this little thing remains on its place. So we are removing the screws. And by pulling the rear back all together, everything what concerns the aperture pusher mechanism will remain inside. So we do not touch, we do not need it, we just put it aside. So here we have our optical block and the focusing. Now we need to remove completely the optical inner block from the focusing block. Okay, our lens is focused on infinity. To do this, we need to remove the front ring with the writing Helios on it. There are two little holes, 1 and 2. I just take my calipers and with help of calipers very carefully, in order not to scratch the ring, by turning to the left, you are starting to rotate it, and once it's and you are removing it first with calipers, and then you can try with the fingers. Here, you put it aside. Then what we can see here, some screws. So there is basically 3 pairs of screws here, you can see. One is missing in my example, you see here. So first of all, we need to remove this thread, this filter thread. We don't need it. So basically there are 3 screws which hold the filter thread attached to the lens body, but in my case there are only 2. Somebody have removed already the one in the past, so we will remove the remaining 2. You see which one? Not this one, but this one. You will distinguish them very easily, because you see that which one is holding the filter thread, and this one. Here. Up. So then we have the most interesting part remaining of our work. So you can see here the remaining 3 screws which holding the focus block with the focus block here with the optical block together. So now what is important is the position position of this optical block inside the focusing, because this little aperture pushing pusher, I would say, its position is very important here. So now we need to, before making any moves here, we need to make a marking from ourselves in order to put the optical block correctly inside. So let's put it to get here, for example, here marking, as you may see, and here. You can make it with a marker also, but I'm afraid that marker can be easily wiped out, and then we will just lose our markings, and we will not be able to reassemble lens properly. But with the markings made with a screwdriver, you are sure to have them without any changes. So we have put the marking here, okay? Then we are removing the remaining 3 screws. Here, 1, 2 and 3. Once they are removed, you just remove your optical block, okay, like this. And don't forget, if the screws are felt inside, so just remove all the screws. So now what we have our optical block with the aperture inside, and we have our focusing block, which is composed of 3 rings, and we will need to work with it in the next steps. So when we take a closer look to the focusing block, so this we can put aside, we do not need it actually. Let's take a closer look to the focusing block. It composed of 3 rings, in fact, moving rings. And the main difficulty for proper handling with this, every ring has its specific position inside the whole assembly, and if they are assembled in wrong way, so you will not have your infinity focus or closer focus, okay? So to perform the further operations, you will need to be attentive and carefully follow all the steps I'm explaining here. So but you can use some simplified way to relubricate the grease, relubricate the focusing block. In fact, why it is so tough sometimes, because the grease has lost its characteristics, lubricating characteristic, because of the time passed. So here, as you may see, this is main thread here. This is multi-thread on this ring, on this brass ring inside. And here the main, normally here is the main problem. So I can advise you some trick, but this is really not the full um, lubrication, but often it may help. So here in this syringe I have the liquid grease. Basically this grease you can find in the weapon shops, weapon stores. This grease is served for firearms lubricating, for weapons, mostly for firearms lubrication, or for pneumatic rifle lubrication. So you can use it. Sometimes I use it also if I need to fix the lens quickly, but of course it's not the really proper way to perform, but it will allow you to avoid the most complicated part of this work. We will not need to disassemble the whole rings. Okay, so you just take your liquid grease in syringe and just you put it on this surface. Not a big quantity, but a little quantity of grease. Once it's done, just after you start moving all together, and you will see that your focus ring starts to move much easier, and after some operations, after of these moves, you will probably your question will be solved, and you can start with a reassembling of this lens. So this is one easier way, but I will, for those who wants to really perform the work as it should be done, I will explain further steps. So as you may see, there are two holders here, 1 and 2. They serve to hold the inner ring not moving when you turn the focusing ring. Okay, here. So now we will need to focus the lens. As you remember, we have focused on infinity. Now we will turn the ring completely to other side of the scale, like this. You see here. Okay, then we will need to remove these two holders, 1 and 2. As you may see, they are slightly different. One of them has the groove here, and another one is completely solidly made without any things inside. So we will work with these surfaces, but on the beginning let's remove these two holders. Okay, so just let's unscrew just a little bit the screws here, and then you just can remove it easily like this. You see, hop, 1 and 2 in the same way. And then we will need to put our marking. Here we had our groove, our holder with the groove. So here you make your marking, and this surface inside you put also your marking, just to see very well, to be able to find easily this groove, because there are 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we just need only this one. Okay, So this maybe you can make with your marker, I don't know, to find it easily. 1 and 2 here. Then we will unscrew, we will remove the inner ring. With your 2 fingers you take like this and you start to move it. And then you need to find the position when this ring will came out, and in this position we will put another marking here, you see. So we will put here the marking on inner ring where it comes out compared to this marking, and then when we will put it together we just will, and attention, here is our lens is focused on closest, on this closest distance. So, and here on this ring we have 2 markings, and finding our marking here, to put it properly on its place you just need to align these 2 markings and start to find the thread. Now it's difficult to make because the old grease. I've catched some thread, but I don't know, maybe this is not the right one because this is multi-thread. Maybe this one. And then you will just see the position if it's right for the height. Yes, I think this is right position because our height was the height here. You see, it was this one, I think. Yes. So we can also make before disassembling we can make the marking here on the end of this little holder to be able to put the properly ring inside. Okay, so I guess that's right. So, and we can continue. This we remove. We have our markings in proper places. Here it comes out, and we have removed this ring. So you can see a really big amount of old grease on inner surface and on external surface, and we will need to remove it completely. So we have performed the separation of one ring inner. There are here 2 rings moving, as you may see. 1 and 2. So this one is easily, because here this is single thread inside, so there are only one position in which they could be assembled together. We will need just to assess properly the height of the thread, the ratio between these 2 rings. So now what we will need to do, we will separate the inner brass ring from the external body here. So let's remain in this not maybe let's move to the infinity position, like here, and what we can do, you may see here 4 screws. The purpose of these screws to hold together the black ring with the brass ring. Okay, so as we put the markings properly, I will say as we focused it to infinity here, we will just remove all 4 screws here. One, two. By the way, you need to remove them completely. Three. And 4. And we will need to put the marking here. Just we remove the black ring, and you see here the brass ring. We will need to put 2 markings on this surface, okay? 1 and 2 on the brass ring. Then we need to assess how many turns it can be still screwed into the end. So not even 1 turn, okay? Just you see our marking here, and you see another one here. Now we can remove the ring. Here you just turn it, as there is single thread, you're just removing the ring. So as it is a single thread, we just do not need make any markings when it falls out. In fact, just what we need to assess, for example, we just put it then together and we screw it really to the end of thread. And then we will see our marking here, and this is not complete turn, you remember, and just to returning back a little bit, you align your markings and you see that your rings are in proper position one to another for to reassembling this inner ring. Okay, this step is really simple, because as I said previously, it is very important the ratio between all these 3 rings for proper focusing. If you will put in wrong way the rings, you will not get the proper focusing of the lens. So we have completely disassembled the focusing part, and you can see the multiple surfaces: 1, 2, 3 and 4. All these surfaces you need to clean. I use the just some cotton with alcohol to clean up, to wipe all the surfaces. I use a pure 98% of medical alcohol. This you can find, I think, easily, because there are another ways how to clean them more efficiently, but it requires some chemicals which are hard to find, in fact. And you just wipe all the threads very meticulously. You eliminate the old grease. You pass through all thread. You change your cotton, or just you can take a piece of paper also. So once the one ring is done, you pass to another ring, the brass one. You just clean it from all sides. This is the main ring, and there is normally the most important part, quantity of old grease on it. Once you have performed this operation on brass ring, you pass to the inner ring. And you wipe really all surfaces on the ring. If you use the marker, please take care about markings, not to wipe it, because with the alcohol can be wiped really easily, and then you will lose your markings for proper reassembling. So let's assume it's done. Then you just take the C-Team grease, which can be found easily in my store or over the web, and you start to apply it. You just take your external ring, you just put there a grease with little quantities like this. And you just put really little quantity on this external side, okay, of the brass ring. So once it's done, we will assemble the rings in this position and this position. You find our markings on the external ring here, and on the brass ring, where is it? Here. So we are starting to put them together. It's very simple. You put the rings completely to the end. One is done, you see where you're marking here. And just to returning back a little bit, you align your two markings, and you know that these two rings are in proper position for infinity focus, you remember. Then you will put our ring, black one, in this position. And we will put all 4 screws on its place. One, sometimes it's a bit tricky, but we need to do this. No way to escape. It's a matter of good magnetic screwdriver to facilitate this work. Two, you just put it very with a bit of force. You apply to force to screw it completely in. Then 3, you apply a bit of force with the biggest screwdriver. Hop. And the last one. And as you may see, we have reassembled the one part of the focusing block. Now let's start to put on its place the inner ring. Of course, we need to apply a bit of grease on this external thread. New grease. On external thread and a bit of grease on internal brass thread. So then we will need to find our marking on external, and please don't forget to put the focusing ring in the position of the closest focusing distance. As you may remember, we were manipulating the inner ring with this position, set to this position. Okay, so we need to repair our marking here, and we need to repair the markings on our inner block. So this is a height marking, this is a proper big groove marking, and this marking is where the inner ring comes out from this brass ring. Okay, so we will align more or less the markings, and this one with this one, and we will try to screw the inner ring inside in this position. It comes very easily with the new grease, as you may see. And here, this position, and we will check if the height is right. We will take our holder, we will put it on its place here. And I think, yes, you see, the height is right. Then we just fix the holder on its place. Push it to the side and then screw it, and then fix the screws. One holder and second. Like this. So basically we have performed the reassembling of the focusing ring. Now let's see how it works. You just make few moves to make grease to make grease distribute to all the surfaces, and then we will need to eliminate the excess of the grease. Okay, we will just take a bit of paper or whatever else, and we will take a cotton stick and eliminate the remains the excess of the grease. We don't need it, you see. And now you can see that the rings are moving really smoothly one against another, really. So as you can see, we have reassembled the focusing block in proper way. All the marking fits. The new grease applied works very well. The ring is really smooth. You just can wipe the lens body with a bit of alcohol because of the grease is everywhere, more or less. And we will start to reassemble the lens. So now, as you may remember, we have the marking here, and we have the marking on the optical block. Here, the marking on the optical block here. I don't know if you see it, but I see it clearly. And we put the all together, and we realign two markings. And the left hole here is for screws holding the optical block inside the focusing. And these little screws, you see, we will need to put it. Not this one is bigger, but this is black screw, which is smaller. And we just put the screws inside. One, two, this is not a proper one, it's a bigger one, sorry. These ones. And three here. The optical block is focused inside the focusing block. Then we just need to put our ring with the thread. There are two screws, two of them on its places, and one is missing because somebody before me just opened this lens in not professional way. And we fix the lens, and we fix this filter thread on its place. 1 and 2, but normally there should be 3 screws. So this is fixed, okay? Then we will need to put this ring. It can be easily screwed in. And then you tighten it with help of calipers, for example, into these two little holes. So the front part is completely assembled. We need to put the rear part. So focused on infinity here, we just take our rear block and you align this red line with this position, and you just find the holes inside, okay, here. And you put 3 bigger screws inside. I forget to say you about one important thing. So this aperture pusher stick, I would say, and there is a fork here, I would say. So when you put all together here, infinity marking, you need to check if the fork comes properly to the stick here. You see, like this it should be. And then, and only then, you start to find the marking. You take care about little ball, of course. Here 1, 2 and 3, yes. All 3 holes are okay. You put 2 screws inside. 1, 2 and 3. Then you check the aperture, if the aperture is working. Yes, it's okay. So this is correctly put on its place. You take care about this little ball steel, and you put the aperture ring. Here there is a little, I don't know how to say in English, a little sink, I would say, and there is a little groove here. So you align the groove with this pin, I would say, here, and you put it all together. And you take care about this little ball. It should remain on its place, like this. Is it correct? Yes, it works. And then you just put your back cover, back part. This pin should push this part. This one, you see. This one. you align them like this. Hop, you find the holes. Where are they? Here, the holes, and you just put the remaining 4 screws inside. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Aperture is working, focus is smooth. So we have performed the lubrication, the full lubrication of focusing block of famous Helios 44M lens. So you may find it a bit complicated. Yes, it's not simple operation, and if you want to just lubricate the lens without full separation of all rings, you can use the liquid grease as I showed you in this video. And for those who feel really good in technical skills, you just by following all the steps I performed, you can do it by yourself. So this is Retro Photo House. As usually, we are working for you, for your satisfaction. And if you need some tested and cleaned Soviet lenses, please visit my eBay store. Thank you for your attention. Bye bye.